Salty.
What's up, people? Salty McFly. It is Monday, so we are talking about The Walking Dead. Now, there are spoilers in this episode, so if you did not watch the episode yesterday on Sunday of The Walking Dead, please stop watching this video. It's the only time I'm ever going to tell you not to watch one of my videos. Watch the episode of The Walking Dead, and then come back here. Let me know what you thought about it. Give me your opinions if you liked it, if you didn't like it. Let me know. We did not learn the fate about Glenn, about Rick, Alexandria, the Horde, the Wolves. This episode was 100% about Morgan, and it was great. I love the pacing of this episode. The entire season so far has been like somebody just punching you in the face, beating the crap out of you every single Sunday, and this episode just took it back. You know, it relaxed everyone. You got to learn about something that, if you're a big fan of the show, that you've always wondered about. My friends and I talking about The Walking Dead over the seasons, Morgan always came up. Always came up. We were wondering what he was doing, if they were going to bring him back. Is he alive? Is he dead? Is he crazy? Now, I know people probably knew about it that read the comics and like to read into spoilers and different things, but I'm not one of those people. I do enjoy comic books, but I don't want to know what's going on. That's just how I am. I like to be surprised every single week, to the point where at the end of the Walking Dead episode where it says coming up next week, I don't even watch that. And at the end of the Talking Dead where it's like, here's a sneak peek of next week's episode, I used to stop watching that, but now that I'm doing these videos, I started watching it to get kind of an idea of what's going to happen next week, because I'm going to hear about it from you guys in the comment section anyway. So the best way I can describe this episode of The Walking Dead, in my opinion, was two different extremes. It's all or nothing. Now, I personally don't agree with that, especially in the Walking Dead world. I feel like you have to have a good balance of things in your life to be able to survive. And as I was watching the episode, what I took from it was Morgan was pretty much like an addict. Now, I know he was dealing with the PTSD and he absolutely lost his mind when he was in the woods, but it was like an addict. You know, he was either all in, killing everything, or killing nothing at all. Now, I've had a friend of mine who was an addict, probably still is. I've lost contact with him, and he was the exact same way. He was either on everything constantly, or he had to be completely off of it just to function. I personally don't understand that mentality. You know, I don't have that in me. I can have a drink, not have a drink. I can do this, not do that, and it's totally fine with me. I can function. I don't need that in my life, but I guess some people do, and it's just hard for me to understand and comprehend that whole state of mind. So it starts off with Morgan in the woods, just absolutely crazy, killing everything and everyone. I mean, his state of mind is so far gone that he stabs that guy in the neck, and then he just chokes the life out of somebody with his bare hands. I mean, you have to be pretty far gone to have been a relatively normal person to strangling the life out of somebody within, I don't know the time frame of when the apocalypse started and when Morgan was right there, but it couldn't have been very long. That is one of the most violent ways, if not the most violent ways, to actually take somebody's life. You can shoot someone, you can stab someone. There are a lot more gory ways to go about taking somebody's life, but to have the state of mind to just wrap your hands around somebody's neck and take their life is just beyond comprehension for me. But that's the state of mind that Morgan was in at that point in time. So eventually he comes in contact with a weird guy in the woods with a jail cell in his cabin. He also has a goat named Tabitha. I'm pretty sure that was the name of the goat, which again is weird. Now, I didn't know what to make of it when he came in contact with Bubble Boy's dad. But when I seen a cell in his cabin, I personally didn't want to trust him right off the bat. You know, Morgan shoots at him when he first even gets a glimpse of him, and he's all cool about it. Like, people shoot at him all the time, like it's not a big deal. And then he has the cell in his cabin. I'm thinking this is going to end up some sort of cannibalism, some sort of craziness. I did not trust the guy at all. But it turns out the guy is actually a good dude now. He did some messed up stuff in his past, but he brings Morgan back into the person that we knew he was. You knew Morgan was a good dude by the very first episode of how he's taking care of his kid and how he can't kill his zombie wife. You knew Morgan was a good guy. He had it in him, and the guy took a chance on Morgan and just brought him into his home. So time passes, Morgan comes around to the Morgan we all know today, but he's still making these bad decisions, in my opinion. Morgan can be such a huge asset to the group, to Rick, to everyone, but he's making these decisions that make him more of a hindrance, in my opinion, than an asset. His Yoda loses his life because of him. Rick almost loses his life. We don't know what's going on with him in the bus because of the people that Morgan let go. And then at the end of the episode, it turns out he's telling this story to one of the wolves that he captured, and he's secretly keeping in one of the houses, tied up, locked away, because he's trying to do what Eastman did to Morgan, bring him back to reality to show him that he doesn't have to be that way. But the difference between Morgan and the wolf that he has captured is that Morgan had a mental break. Morgan was a good guy. He totally lost it. But Eastman brought him back down into reality, brought him back into the real world, showed him that he doesn't have to be like that. But the wolf that he has in captivity, the wolf in captivity, it's a wild animal, made a choice to be like that. It's completely different than Morgan. So I think Morgan's completely wasting his time. I feel like that wolf is going to get out of there and people are going to die, all because of Morgan's decisions. I think Morgan needs to change. He can't be like this. People are going to die because of him. I don't know what's going on. I really want to like Morgan. I loved his character, how he popped in. He was almost like a ghost or a phantom of the Walking Dead world. You know, you knew he was going to pop up. You didn't know when. But I don't know where they're going to take Morgan's character. I hope that eventually he comes back around. Kind of how Rick lost his shit. He lost his edge. He spent all his time at the jail farming, but then he got brought back into the Rick that we know today that doesn't give a shit. You mess up, you put anybody in his group's life at risk, he's going to kill you no matter what. Morgan has to adopt some of that. He doesn't have to be full-blown Rick or full-blown Carol, but he has to have a little bit of that, so he's not a hindrance and he's not costing people their lives. So that's what I think. That was my opinion on the episode. You can agree with me, disagree with me. Please let me know in the comment section below. And until next Monday, Salty McFly.